Hi, and welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shaped the game, supported by listeners like Irving Davidson of Scotland, who made a donation to this effort at thecurlingshow.com. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, we talk to a great guy and a fine player at this week's Ford World Men's Championships in Moncton, who outside of this interview will probably get about as much media time as the more heavily bearded Snatil from Team Czech Republic. The lead on Team USA at this week's Ford World Championships in Moncton and at the 2010 Olympic Games in Vancouver. John Benton, welcome to the Curling Show.
Thanks, Dean. Appreciate it very much.
Hey, between you and Ben Hebert, it's been a steady dose of leads here on the Curling Show. I don't know what that says about my show, but I'm glad to have you. Hey,
well, you gotta have.
Sorry?
You got to have somebody on, right?
Yeah, I got to have somebody on, and, leads don't get to talk enough. So, hey, bit of a mixed bag of a day for you, but not all bad, really. I guess kind of tough to get up for Finland after the morning game against Canada?
Yeah, we typical from what's been going on this week. Everybody's been giving up at least one bad end to Martin, and, we just have been struggling with the draw weight a little bit this week, so we got through that game, and we started off kind of slow this game. Had a bad set of rocks that we had to get switched around. Once we switched those around and figured them out, we were a lot better off. So just happy to be. We're kind of on this split mode where we're doing 1-1 on our 2-game days. So
I mean, that 4 against Kevin was a real sneaky one. Really just. John had missed 2 draws, I guess. Do you wish you maybe had played the hit with his last one?
Yeah, we talked about it, and he said,
I think he wanted to.
Yeah, he said we really should have just peeled that and make the double, give him his deuce. But the earlier mistake was on one of Jeff's rocks. We played a short run back, and we played it off the center line to the outside, and it curled a bit too much and left in the corner guard. If we play it the other way, that's not going to happen, and they can't get that end going. So,
hey, how come during games Ed Lukowicz doesn't come out, right? Why is that?
Well, Brian Simonson was actually with us at the trials in Denver.
Oh, okay.
He's an old friend from Chisholm that John knew, and we needed to have a coach in Denver. So, we felt that it was probably right that Brian would come with us and be our coach here. So we've got, Ed and Chris Blythe and Brian up in the coach's box, and they all try and pool their input, and Brian has all of their opinions when he comes out on the ice.
With the day, I mean, you get the win against Finland, but, you had chances against Canada. You weren't, they didn't have their best game, I don't think. Was it both sort of encouraging and disappointing at the same time?
Absolutely. I mean, Kevin apparently said to John afterward that he was pretty impressed, and then Kevin said to me, that if we keep playing well, that we'll be right in there. So it was encouraging to have Kevin say those things. That obviously we found out that if you make some good shots and you make them shoot, that they'll miss from time to time. They're not perfect. They're not machines. So that's very encouraging. We'd like to have another crack at them.
Well, what's it like on the ice against those guys? I mean, you haven't played them this year, and this is your first time on such a big stage. What's it like to play those guys?
I was actually very surprised and pleased. I mean, they're all very businesslike, obviously, and very intense. But they're all very nice guys. Nothing chippy and very good to play against. The occasional nice shot word from them. It's very comfortable.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't get sometimes, I think it's partly just people resent success sometimes, but I find when I watch them play, they seem more likely to compliment the other team on good shots than a lot of teams.
Yeah, the little time that I've been playing against this level of competition consistently, they seem to be real genuine and just good curlers to be around.
Hey, your team outside of John Schuster, Skip, you don't have a ton of experience at this level. My team played you guys in Bismarck, and actually when we left, I said, I think these guys are on a roll and could win the whole thing, and you turned it, and then you did. But going in here, you got to manage expectations a little bit. So would you say at this point you're sort of where you sort of hoped or thought you might be?
Yeah, we didn't set out with, we don't set a lot of long-term goals. We like to go into each game one at a time and, just kind of come out, do our jobs, and try and win that game. But we did say that we wanted to come out of the first 5 with at least a 3-2 record, which we did, because that was a tough start for us. Definitely some of the tougher teams in the field. And I think the only disappointing game for us really was the loss to Denmark yesterday. We just, felt that was a team we should beat, and we struggled against them. So, we feel pretty decent about where we're at. We've got a couple of games left against France and the Czechs, and there's no gimmies here, but certainly looks to be in our favor. And if we can win out, we'll be in the thick of things. We'll probably be playing on Friday. So that's kind of the plan right now. Just hold down the fort, so to speak. Get back to that, that game plan of going into each game one at a time and doing our job.
You mentioned the rocks earlier, and of course rocks in just about every game have come up with guys switching rocks or throwing. On TSN, of course, we've seen a lot of Kevin playing, and they're switching all the time. The ice they had flat-out problems with it early, but what's your take on the ice and the rocks? More importantly, the rocks, I guess.
Well, this last game we had a real bad pair, and I found out afterward that nobody else has won with the red stones on sheet D this week.
Probably a good thing you found out afterwards.
Exactly. The guys that we have do a real good job of scouting the other teams and what they're throwing, and it's kind of surprising that all the other teams were throwing that pair of rocks in the back half of their team, either the third or the skip, and I guess that would explain the results. Once we moved them around, they were good, but in general, it's just been a bit warm and a bit frosty most of the time. The speed is not excellent. It's somewhere in the range of 23.5 to 24.5 by the time we get to game time.
And there were a lot of games when you really couldn't drag a rock very far with sweeping, were there?
Right, exactly, and that's been the problem, is that they're just kind of grinding in towards the end of their distance, and you can't really add much to it if you let them go. So you got to stay with them the whole time.
Do you miss those Mark Shurik ice and rocks that you had in Broomfield, Colorado at the Olympic trials?
Exactly. Well, the other thing that's a tad bit concerning is that these are the rocks that will be going to Vancouver, so we really need to get a good read on them and making sure that we know every single nuance to every stone out there.
Has Ed tried to steal Jules Elchar's book?
I don't know. Jules is supposed to be the expert, and everybody says that Kevin's a genius with rocks himself, so I'm sure Ed has his little ways to get information.
Well, you really think he does, do you? He's gonna get it out of Jules somehow, is he?
I don't know if he'll get it out of Jules, but he'll get it somehow.
Hey, unlike in Canada, the U.S. here, we pick our Olympic team. You guys won this year, and you're in the Olympics next year. You get that full season to prepare. It's a big commitment. What's the next year look like for you?
Well, we sat down, 2 weeks after we won the trials, went to Green Bay, had our first camp, and got a first look at the full schedule, and it looks like we're going to be doing 2 weekends on, 1 weekend off, right through the summer up to August, and then we start the competition season again, and we'll be, I think, going to a number of overseas trips, as well as most, if not all, of the Grand Slams. So it's going to be very busy, and it is a huge time commitment, but the fortunate thing is that Jeff and Jason and John are pretty free as far as family life and work and whatnot. I'm the only one who has kind of a career in state. So
that's because you're so old, John. You're the old guy.
I am the old guy on the team. I've definitely heard a lot about that. But my work has been super supportive to this point, and it looks like I'll be able to work things out with them, and just very, very happy that they're behind me 100%.
Hey, weekends in the summer, what does that entail? What does a weekend of curling in the summer entail?
Well, they've got us set up at the Green Bay Curling Club for a training center, and we'll be heading to Green Bay, and I'm not sure exactly how much ice time we're going to be utilizing. I would assume that at least one or 2 days in a 3 or 4 day weekend we'll be on the ice at least part of the time, and then I really don't know specifically what they have in store for physical conditioning or any of the other stuff.
They've got a program for you, John.
Oh yeah, they certainly do have a program.
Are you doing the crunches? You're doing the crunches, the core work. You getting all that in yet?
Absolutely. Actually, I started doing that even before the trials.
I know you did. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I'm in pretty good shape now for an old guy.
There, you are, and I know you work hard at the game, and I think a lot of people were happy when you won because you put a lot into it, and then you also put a lot into organizing events and being really involved in the sport. Hey, John, we finished with a run back. I give you a topic. You give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Okay.
Team Germany's curling shoes.
Team Germany's curling shoes. Didn't see them really.
I think they wear like Asics or something.
Oh, that's right. They wear the Asics. They're okay. I don't know if I like them with black pants.
What about Holger Hohn's sunglasses?
Oh, those are awesome. I actually have a pair of sunglasses very similar. It reminds me of Bono from U2.
I think he looks like a James Bond villain. He could be a
James
Bond villain, Holger.
Holger.
Team China's struggles.
Very interesting that they switched around their lineup. I think that might not have been the wisest move at Worlds.
Yeah, maybe not, although they seem to be in a bit of a roll again, maybe, but not a roll, but at least got a few wins anyways.
Right.
Team Switzerland's slow start, another team that changed their lineup.
Yeah, that one's hard to figure. I haven't had a chance to watch them play or gotten a whole lot of, learnings on them, prior to now. So I can't really say other than, it's the ice and the rock conditions are pretty tough here, and if you don't get it figured out, you're going to be trapped.
Yeah, that's a good point. The ice and the rocks, and of course they have Russ Howard coaching, who's the rock guy, but Ralph Stokely certainly looked lost against Kevin Martin, and I've seen him play awfully well, and against Kevin he really looked lost. So I guess but the fact is, I guess a lot of guys look lost against Kevin. But Martin and Yuri Snatil's facial hair.
Crazy, just crazy.
Yeah, well,
but it's in a good way. I like it.
One's like the Nutty Professor, or
Exactly.
Trotsky or something. They're upset of Scotland.
Oh well, I mean, like I said, there isn't anybody here that can't throw a stone. Let's put it that way. When all the stars align and all 4 players are playing well, and you've got the rocks figured out and the ice figured out, any one of these teams can beat anybody, including Martin.
There you go. Northrop Frye.
Northrop Frye. I don't have any comments.
I thought I could stump you with that one. Native Monctonian and Canadian literary critic. They have a Frye festival there. I could stump you, a guy from Minnesota, with that. So
you absolutely did.
And finally, the 3-hour opening ceremonies.
Oh boy, we've had a lot of conversations about that. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Everything that they did was great. Just would have been nice to have an intermission or two. Yeah,
that seems like they. From everything I heard, it sounded quite good. But boy, 3 hours. The Godfather 2 starts to drag at that point too. So
exactly.
That's a heck of a movie. So, yeah. All right. Well, anyways, John, listen, I'll let you get back to relaxing and socializing at the patch there. Thanks for making some time, and good luck the rest of the way. Actually, do you guys sponsors? I always let people name sponsors. Who are you guys wearing on your jackets?
Absolutely. We've got Document Destruction out of Minneapolis, JC Sales, and Hillcrest from the Iron Range. Our sponsors, and Gemini Sport Marketing, who does jerseys for all the bass fishing pros, did all of our uniforms for the World Curling Tour this year. So I'd like to get a plug in for them as well.
All right, John, and of course you can't forget the U.S. Olympic Committee, my friend.
Well, of course. Of course.
All right,
Free rides
good
are
luck
always
the rest
nice.
of the way. Have a good time tonight.
Thanks a lot, Dean.
That's John Benton on The Curling Show. Remember that if you enjoy this podcast, think about joining the Curling Show group on Facebook or making a small donation at thecurlingshow.com. As always, thanks for listening. Here's some pudding.
You go to work every day, you blend into the crowd, but in the silence of night, he's got a living